Hey guys, how are you guys doing? So I haven't been on YouTube for a while, but honestly just haven't felt like making any videos. But I have been working on lots of small engines and stuff like that, including that's the fuel tank off of a little two-stroke 800-watt generator, and it stopped running about I don't know a couple years ago, and that was back when I wasn't really messing around with two strokes very often. Uh, but lately, I like working on two strokes. So, um, as you can tell, it's all taken apart right now. Um, and so I'll give you a little backstory on this. Over Christmas, my brother wanted to try to get this running, and of course, it's interesting to me as well. And so I took the carburetor off. Actually, before that, even maybe a year ago, I had messed around with it, adjusting the governor. There's a screw there, but that's really actually to dial in the RPMs for the hertz. Um, but I've got that back to where I think it needs to be, and so I took the carburetor off over Christmas and cleaned it out. Um, Put it back together, and it still wasn't firing like it should, like a normal problem with a two-stroke. If it's carb related, you could still put gas in the spark plug or spray it in the in it. This is still on there, but you can spray it into the carb mouth, and it should fire fairly easily and then die, and then you could do that over and over again. But this one was struggling to do that, and it was like from the experience that I have now, it just didn't seem quite right. And so, but I did decide to take the carb off again and then clean it again and blow everything out, all the passages and everything. And so I was feeling pretty confident with it wasn't that dirty. So the next place I wanted to check was the seals, which a lot of people don't really think about. And so that's something that I've found is, and usually when a seal is bad, it also means maybe the bearings are bad, but not always. Like some saws, you just need to change the seal out, and it's good to go for a long time. So, so for this one, I haven't done this before, but I know how to do it. My tools are a mess right now, but it will go all back together. I have this. That's kind of how I do things. It's a little messy, but it works. I have this, and so I took some inner tube rubber and cut it and made a gasket and sandwiched it between the carburetor and sandwiched. Well, it's not on there right now, but I had one. I put it up against that and then clamped the exhaust just to block it, and then something you can do is I have this compression tester. Well, in my kit, you can take the Schrader valve out of this end that goes into the cylinder. And so now it's just a clear hose that you can plug in there. Bring it down so that so air can go down in there. There's passages, right, for a two-stroke. And pressurize it, and it would not build pressure, but you could screw it off and block it off with your thumb, and so me and my brother kind of went back and forth on that, but that means to me that there's a seal problem, and so we actually checked on this side, but this seal is fine, and typically it's going to be the working side that usually fails because that's where all the work, the pressure, there's a lot of weight on there, like this big heavy piece, right? Or actually this piece. And so but that's a bit daunting, right? Because you don't see a lot of videos about this, but it's daunting to take this back, and we're gonna find out if for me, I feel very confident it'll go back to work together and work fine. But there was some challenges, and that's what this video is kind of about. Is there was challenges along the way. with this thing. This stuff, it's pretty simple. There's long bolts, and you take that, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It is normal thread. It is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and that can be a people, like on chainsaws, it's the other way around. But, so, back onto this. This is on there like this. And again, this my videos aren't instructional videos really, and they're not, you know, you're not going to see me doing the repair. That's just not actually really my style anyways. I just want to give people information about doing the project. You know, I'm assuming you know how to take things apart and stuff like that. Like, you know, loosening bolts and things like that, and keeping track of the wires. That's something you'll have to figure out. But for this can be a common problem because it's on there and you're not really sure how this is being held on. But it is a long bolt, so you have, that assumes that the shaft, it's back there is where the problem is. So, and being a tapered fit, it's like a ball joint where it's almost a mechanical weld, really. And so, I think either, now thinking about it, whacking this with a sledge, like putting a bolt in there and whacking it, would break that, like just like doing a ball, like doing a tie rod. But what I did is I put vice grips on it, and I just started with a sledge going whack, 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 basically, and eventually this thing just popped right off. So that was one thing. If you've never done one like that, that can be a problem for you. And right away, we found the problem. I don't know if it's going to show, but that seal is clearly broken, and it was actually not even pushed in there. So I don't even, it was kind of like half in. So, you know, my thoughts on that is maybe it was incorrectly installed right from the very beginning, or from the heat, because it's not like it just failed and it was still in there. It was, you know, it was actually out. So I went to Lordco, but they didn't have the seal. So then I had to go to a bearing supply place, and they got the seal. The seal is actually only $2.50, but then to get shipping and all that, it was like $15 out the door. But I got prompt. I wanted it right away. So, so I think this is something you guys can do, but it is probably a good idea to do the rubber, block them off, and compression test it, because it's a big job. Like, don't get me wrong, this would take some. It's not like just cleaning a carburetor, which I think can be a problem for some people as well. But this is more involved. So, well, I'll do a few clips along the way. I'm gonna clean this out, put some oil on the seal, like on the lips. It's a double lip because it's a 2-stroke. And then I'll take a socket that's the outer diameter, and I'll just tap it in, and we'll be good to go to reassemble. Anyways, so if you have a 800 watt generator that's a 2-stroke, this may be your problem. And because you know, 4 strokes, this wouldn't matter so much. It would start leaking oil, but it would probably still run. With a 2-stroke, it needs to be airtight, in and out, so suction and the pressure. So hopefully this was some helpful information, and we'll talk to you in a minute. Back now, and I've installed the seal, and you have to have experience to do that kind of thing, because if it's not going quite right and you gotta hit it in square, and then you can ruin it real quick too. So seal's installed, muffler's back on, and the pressure tester is on, and I just want to show you what it should be like. Alright guys, so the seal is installed and the tester is on, and let's see what we can do here. It's now up to 5 psi, and if there was a major leak, it would just come down right away like it was before. So it's now holding pressure, and my tester doesn't do it, but it would be also good, not just to pressurize it, but to also vacuum it, because it needs to work in both aspects. So just wanted to show you that, and we're in business. Now we just have to put it back together. Okay guys, so I got the starter back on, and I got this all assembled. I just want to do a quick video of all the connections. And that's back on. It's pretty easy. You just got to make sure you push this all back together square. And yeah, it's pretty good. Now I just got to take the rubber out of there and reassemble the carb. And the next video, I'll have the fuel tank back on, and we'll be trying to start it. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey guys, so it's all back together. I don't have a tripod, so if I get it running, I will show you a clip of it running in just a minute. Okay guys, so it's all back together, and I'm gonna go try to start it now. I don't have a good tripod, so in the next clip, if I get it to run, you will see. Talk to you in a bit. Well, as you guys can see, it runs. I might need to adjust the carb a bit and the governor a little bit, but I'd say it's been successful. So I hope you guys all enjoyed, and if you can't get your generator to start and you've cleaned the carb, it may be the seal's bad. Talk to you later. Bye.